Planning for the long-term care of yourself, an aging parent, or even a disabled child can be a daunting task. There's a lot of uncertainty about what lies ahead. Here to talk about how to protect your family's future is attorney Robert M. Slutsky. He is in private practice. Also, he's the legal counsel for the Montgomery County Office of Aging and Adult Services. Rob, this is really an important issue to discuss. So tell everyone, what is long-term care planning and why is it so important?
Well, Pat, long-term care planning is kind of an extension of general estate planning. With long-term care planning, we're not just looking at basic things like wills and powers of attorney and whether you become sick or impaired. We're talking about what happens if you need help, if you need care. With long-term care, what we're looking at is what they call activities of daily living. The need to get help with stuff that you normally do by yourself every day, like bathing and feeding and moving around. And with long-term care planning, what we're trying to do is anticipate that we all might need that type of care one day and look at how to plan for it, what type of care we want, where we want to get that care, and how much it costs and how to pay for it.
And what age should we really be focusing in on? When should we begin this serious thought, especially if we perhaps are middle-aged and we have an aging parent?
Well, an interesting point you make, because most of the clients that I get are the middle-aged children of the older parent. And I guess, you know, we all want to do basic planning when we're younger, just to have things in place. But when it comes to the long-term care part, we probably want to start, if we can, in our early 50s, because then we can start to make choices while we're healthy and while we still have the financial resources to kind of direct our own plan.
And so why do you need an attorney to be able to help navigate this process?
Well, because honestly, it's very, very complicated. With, you know, old style estate planning, we used to think, okay, here's a will, we make sure our stuff gets where we want it to go. And we have a power of attorney if we get sick and we want someone else to be able to make decisions for us. Today, we have to think about other things that are just much more expensive and apply to so many more people. You know, back with old estate planning, we worried more about taxes. Today, we worry about the fact that our entire financial estate can be totally wiped out by the cost of long-term care.
And so you want to make sure that you have some protections in place. So what kind of services would an attorney like you provide?
Well, I do really, my practice encompasses 2 or 3 different things. One is general estate planning, where somebody who's young and healthy comes in and just wants to have documents in place and kind of understand about life insurance and powers of attorney and a will, and making sure their stuff gets to where it's supposed to go. With long-term care planning, there's really 2 types of planning. The first type is where we're planning ahead, where you come in your 50s and think about what the problems could be and how you want to handle them. Then I deal a lot with crisis planning, where a loved one might have had a stroke or they're ill and they're coming out of the hospital and there's an anticipation that they won't be able to be independent anymore. And that crisis planning is where we can still try to protect them and guide their care in a way that's appealing to both them and their family members.
And so, Rob, certainly there's much to talk about, and you're going to be joining us over the next few weeks as well.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you. Well, we're looking forward to learning more about this. If you would like more information on long-term care planning, you can just go to cbsphilly.com and click on to Talk Philly.